Mhm.
I am going to get all of the smart people in the world and give them the proper visa to get back in the US so they will pay taxes.
No way.
Way.
People are just going to think that I've lost my mind along with
I
you.
know. Cheers, my friend. Have a good
Yes.
day.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye. Hey, I just want to open this podcast with telling you it is so humid. I had to wear two t-shirts so I didn't sweat through at 5 a.m.
Oh, wow. Even we're having some sort of weird heat wave out here. Like in the middle of the rains, it just gets like 100% moisture and 83 degrees. I'm like, Jesus.
Right. And no view of the ocean. Well, you might have a closer view of the ocean. We have no view. Hey, so did you get that note I sent you about how the Indian press is covering this stuff with the former president, but
Yeah, I
yet no
saw
one
that.
here is?
Okay,
Right.
so I Googled it here and I had to use like
Uh-huh.
one of my Indian email IDs to make sure I was looking
Right.
at the right thing. It
Right.
actually shows as one of the top news stories that were covered
Right.
there, where
Yeah.
Trump just froze for like 20 odd
21
seconds.
cents.
Yeah.
And so if you look, he's like this. And he'll blink and kind of try to give a little nod because you're trying to get your mind and your body back together. Over here, here's the funny thing. I mean, the Harris Walls team is on such a meteoric ride that no one's covering this other stuff. And that's something that would have been a headline for a week. Well, it was with Joe Biden. I mean, that's what got rid of him.
Yeah, wasn't it even big news when Mitch McConnell froze up in a press
Gross.
conference?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, because over here, I don't know how it is in India because I just don't know. Over here, we've got older, and as a white dude, I hate to say this, but older, 20 years older than me. And instead of doing what I'm doing, where you're training people to take your stuff over properly, and then they do whatever they want, but you train them how to do it the right way, and then you move the F on. Just move on. And these guys are they can't let go. And unfortunately, the body just isn't designed to hold on forever. So you come to a point where you're incapacitated in front of cameras. It's humiliating. It's embarrassing. And then the end comes one way or another.
And you still are like the people in power.
Yeah, I know, but it's so, you think if that's happening in front of camera, what's happening when we're not watching?
Yeah.
Yeah. And look, it's after the Democratic convention, she will probably be 6 points ahead in the states that matter. Like Oklahoma doesn't matter. You lived here, we don't matter. It'll still go Trump 70-30. Or if there's a big sea change, it'll go Trump 60-40. That's just where we live, whether we want to admit it or not. But once she's 6 points ahead, this is all but finished. And I had a close friend of mine that's a Republican that we talk politics all the time. And last night, the stuff he was saying, I was like, man, you really you can't say that shit anymore. Yeah. I mean, if your first go-to is that she slept her way to the top, she must have been really good at it because she's probably going to be our next president. Probably. Yeah. But I also thought Vivek Ramaswamy had a shot until he started saying all that stuff.
I know. That guy's campaign went off the rails very quickly once he started talking.
He probably. I would equate it to some other mediocre politics. The problem is he was a great speaker. Like he had the it factor. And somebody gave him bad advice and he took it. Yeah. Oh wow. What's going on with you, man?
This morning I had a wonderful call with one of my old classmates who lives and works as a writer in New York called me.
Nice.
And he asked me, do you get Seth the late show with Seth Meyers?
Yeah.
He was like, oh, go watch that. And I was like, why? He's like, dude, John Mulaney's on there and he's talking about that stupid supermarket that you took me to once in Oklahoma City, Super Cao Nguyen.
The Asian market? Oh, get out.
Yeah, so apparently he comes there and he goes to that market quite often. And they were
Right.
talking about it in Oklahoma City because I
Oh, wow.
think the person he's married to, Olivia Munn, they are from Oklahoma.
Oh, wow. You're kidding me. Send me the link to it and I'll send it to Hi and Bob, the guys that own it, and their little brother, Rennie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
The reason
cool.
this guy called me was because I told him that only people I like do I take them to the Asian supermarket and the Indian
Right.
store. Otherwise, I don't take them here because there'll be
Right.
too many idiotic questions and y'all will embarrass me.
Your sister was willing to spend hours with me over at the Indian store.
Mhm.
And look, the deal is with anybody that comes to Oklahoma City is we have the best Vietnamese, Chinese market that I've ever seen in America. Never seen anything like it. And especially if you're white, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but they have a day a week, they'll give you a tour of the store and explain to you what everything is.
Oh yeah.
Which is right. And they're busy. They really don't have time for that, but they do. Yeah. I mean, those guys are great. Their daughter did a speech at her high school about my wife after she died. It was real sweet. And they sent it to me and I asked if I could repost it. And they said, yeah. And I put it out. I think got like 5,000 views, which for a little high school kid is a ton. So, she's real sweet. The whole family's real nice.
Did I forget to tell you to turn your phone, Sean?
No,
I
well, I mean,
just
you have to
realized
tell
that you're
me
on
this time. All right, there we go. How about that? Is that better? I got like the Joe Rogan look.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So let me tell you one story on them, and then we can move on to whatever we need to talk about. So we got invited to both older boys' weddings, and one of them was at this event center a few miles from our house. They brought up semi trucks of kitchen equipment and literally cooked all of the food in the parking lot.
Oh yeah.
12 courses, and I mean all 12, and all 12. The only thing I didn't like was this stuff called poi, just kind of like a Hawaiian paste you eat for dessert, and it just I don't understand that one. But we had fried lobster cooked for 500 people in a parking lot. I mean, they brought all of these folks up from Houston and set it up out there. It was astounding. 2 waiters per table. I mean, one of those real old school, super nice ones. And then the next one got married, and the wedding was at one of the real super nice hotels here, and it was awesome. I felt privileged to be there, but we were at the white table, you know. Unfortunately, like you and I can joke about it, and there's no ill will. I can joke about it with them, no ill will. And I'm fortunate I've got friends that we can point out the obvious because it's funny.
Yeah.
It is funny. Yeah.
It's like when they seat us in a Mexican restaurant and we look around and it's only white people. We're like, hang on, there's
Why am I
only
in
the other room. Where is the other room?
The better food is in the other room. They treated you and I like whiteys. And the thing that we're not saying is I speak Spanish, so it isn't like they didn't know. All right, well, let me tell you what else has happened here, because there's some strange stuff. So the guy I fight with at Oklahoma State Board of Election or at Education, has got a lot of money missing. Like lots of money is now missing.
Oh,
So
wow.
they had a fund, public-private fund, for this parent started when their kid died of an asthma attack at school, and they just wanted to have inhalers in every school just in case, right? We have heart defibrillators, all this other stuff. You know what really happens all the time? Asthma attacks, and they are deadly, and people don't know it. $250,000 between a private-public partnership charity, and the money is just missing. And the inhalers never got to the schools. And so it's first day of school. Well, first day in the past 10 days is first day somewhere. And nobody knows where the money is. And his group of people send out this stupid letter saying, okay, so request for proposal, RFP is what it's called in any business that you have to go through governmental organization.
Yeah.
Put this thing out.
Usual shit that I have to go through for government bids.
And you fill something out and you send it back in within the time frame, and then you have to be ready to present. Obviously, they didn't send out an RFP when they got the money, and now the money's just missing and they won't answer and all this stuff. It's crazy. So this guy named Ryan Walters now has 20 Democrats, and I believe it's 22 or 23 Republicans that have signed on to just do an investigation, not to impeach him, just to do an investigation. And the guy that could do it said, no, we need 20 more Republicans to sign on.
I really want to meet the person whose conscience didn't say anything about stealing inhaler money.
For children.
I really want to meet that guy and be like, you tell me, who raised you? What exactly happened?
They better hope it's a nonviolent parent if something goes wrong. Because you know how I would behave. So along these same lines, our county official here, this guy named Miles Davidson, that looks like he was involved in a pretty shady land deal. And
oh yeah, that's the article that you sent me. I just read it.
Right. So they had to get 5,000 signatures just to get a grand jury to investigate him. Like, why is this our effing problem when you can provide, you fill out a complaint, you provide the facts you have, and then they're supposed to investigate. And instead now you had 5,000 signatures on this one deal, which took a ton of people's time. And then you've got this other idiot where they go around, get this around, and it's not enough. And you go, so you're telling me if I have the facts, one person complaining is not enough? But what if it only touched one person? Like I live in, did you see the movie Idiocracy?
Yes.
I live there. I literally live there. Did you, if you watched the Republican National Convention and Hulk Hogan was out there tearing off his shirt, was he not president? The guy from Idiocracy?
Yeah, that would have been fucking,
holy crap. I am just in shock at what I'm witnessing all the time. So enough of Sean's complaining for our complaining show.
Sean, every time I tell you, keep it light and you don't listen. So what am I supposed to do?
Well, this was my version of light. I was making fun of something terrible. That's as close to light as I can. It is, so on the upside of everything, so from the script that you and I wrote on the OK Governor thing, I will be taking paddleboard and kayak lessons here pretty quick. I was going to wait and take the video and send it to you and go, hey, look, we've got our trailer. Do you
This is going to be awesome, man. I actually have to redo that script and update it and send it out again.
Because, I mean, we're there. We are literally there. This Tim Walz, the guy running with Kamala Harris, is that character. He's just the biggest, he's just the bigger guy. I mean, that dude, how would you cast him in Hollywood? Because he is a cast perfect white dad from the Midwest that's not a Trumpster.
Yeah.
Like that. I don't know who came up with that dude, but I was like, that is brilliant.
Do you remember there was an old, on the Comedy Central channel, there was an old left-leaning presenter during the Bush era who used to constantly keep yelling at Bush, and he just came off as a liberal dad, like standing on the fence yelling at his neighbor for having the music loud. That's how this guy has been cast into the elections.
Right. Well, it's so what I would have we talked about this at all? And I'll give you my take on it because I don't think we've really talked about it. So if you look at this, I'm 61 years old here in a couple of weeks. Never in my life have I seen the Democrats ever this organized. And never have I seen a campaign roll out like this. And never have I seen the media bite on it like this. Like, I think this has been coming for months. And the rollout was planned. And they waited till these poor schmucks picked that little weirdo for vice president. And they were like, okay, we got everything we need. Let's go.
See, even though they keep complaining that it's like illegal, that was Trump's new argument, that it was illegal to change
it's not at all. Right.
Did you hear him yesterday on X where everybody on Twitter, he was interviewed by Elon Musk and everybody said he sounded like Sylvester the cat because he was slurring.
Because his dentures were loose. That's what it was. So I used to get on the radio with this guy named Danny Williams here, who was famous nationally as a radio personality. But the last like 5 years of his life, he just wouldn't buy new dentures. Like he just wouldn't do it. And that was what I heard. And Trump sounded either intoxicated or that was the deal. And I don't think the guy drinks. So I think it was the teeth. Everything everybody made fun of Joe Biden is happening to the other guy now, the old guy that made fun of him. I mean, that's why you don't make fun of old people, because you're going to be one, even though you right now in your life cannot envision that.
I don't make fun of old people, Sean. I make fun of you. That's the only thing.
we both make fun of everybody, I think it's fair to say.
I think that is like some other deep-seated psychological problem between you and I that we need to sit down and visit at some point.
It's so I should have sent you there was a video describing why English people don't like Donald Trump, because he's not funny. He's not witty. There's no charm. There's not the understanding of, yes, all thing is shit, but how can we make fun of it and live with it? Which is the truth about all government. You just got to look at it and go, okay, well, is there an upside at all to this thing?
The funniest thing, Sean, I was listening to the clip where I think Musk asked him something, and he says that he told Putin, don't do that, no way. And Trump replied to Putin and said, way? I was like, what? Is this like a children's comic book that I'm writing for?
12? Yeah, that's not how it went. They were talking about hookers and cocaine and booze.
No, but can you imagine Putin going like, no way, that Trump said that he's going to do something?
Way.
Like, who the hell is the interpreter translating Putin's reaction? No, but what I was telling you earlier was that even though they complained that you shouldn't have changed this and like the candidate this late, it was a perfect game of chess. It's just that these idiots were playing checkers and got screwed over in between. Right.
And that's so what I told my evidently racist friend here last night. I was like, look, she played him in his own game. The easiest way to beat a con man is to copy their con, because they think they're smarter than everybody. They really and truly, they think they're smarter than everybody, and that's how they're going to beat them. You have a perfect shot of your goldfish or whatever the blue fish is down there. Just leave it alone. You have it.
I was looking at the light, Sean.
Oh, and I've got the one, look, right behind my head, right here. I was trying to cover it, but my bald ass head has now got this coming here. So I was doing the same stuff. So in the game of chess, they literally, it's called slow playing. So Southerners talk about like this. It's kind of to bore you in the conversation. And then they shake your hand when you're leaving, and they pickpocket you with the other hand, because you're at that point, you're just in slumbering. You know, it's a weird deal. But I think they got conned. I mean, and as much as Joe may be in cognitive decline, he is smart enough to do this. And his people are smart enough to do this. And this guy was like, well, the whole nation's going to fall apart if she gets elected. And I go, she already has Biden's people. She didn't really have to even go hire anybody. I go, and you know, your big concern is she's going to hire people that were sorority sisters of hers and flatmates of hers and everything. That's your actual fear. Well, if you want to talk about that, I'll talk to you about it.
The best description that I heard was Alex was asked, there was one time where my dog Daisy was in the backyard trying to catch a squirrel, okay?
Yeah,
the squirrel's like
well-behaved dog, Daisy.
Yes. So the squirrel's jumping tree to tree, and Daisy is always at the wrong tree. So I asked Alex, what is going on? And he was like, I'm pretty sure that squirrel's playing chess. I think Daisy is just playing some special needs version of checkers.
So what I would look at, they do have one commercial tape in the box of Kamala Harris babbling on about a bunch of stuff. Because when she was younger, she just really wasn't good at what you and I do, which is banter. You know, she just wasn't good at it. A lot of politicians are always trying to be so careful and be so correct with the audience they think they need, that they forget that it's just human. Just see if they like you. Popularity contest, like 5th grade, you'll probably get elected. And they've got that in the can, like that's going to save him. And I go, you have lost like 8 points in 3 weeks. You don't understand. You have to stop this momentum. Like, I don't even have an idea of what to tell you to stop the momentum. I mean,
yeah.
woo, Lordy. It's pretty impressive though. But I am personally happy to see it. I'm just happy to see something different. I didn't want to have to vote for one of two 80-year-olds. I just didn't.
I bet.
And I'm not an age discriminator because I'm old. I get to talk about my own peeps. Hey, I saw that. You remember that big old dude, Bill O'Reilly, that used to be on Fox News?
No, yeah.
And he would always explode, yell, and all this. And I was like,
I once saw him, Sean. Yes. I once saw him in New York, and I honestly didn't realize how tall he was.
6'6", yeah.
Yes, I barely came up to like his, like I was somewhere near his pocket when I walked past him.
Yeah. He probably enjoyed that. He's smaller than me, and he's brown. So now he just looks like a feeble old man, like we all eventually do. And I was looking, going, wow, it just looks like every other old white Irish guy. Because we all look the same. The older we get, you lose your definitive characteristics, your hair color, any of that other stuff. And you just start looking like. But he didn't even have any of the stomach wrath that he used to have on the show, because he was a hyperbole specialist. So it's interesting to watch the end of this generation. I mean, it really is. I'm excited for them all to go wherever they're going. I don't know, but I'm excited for them to go.
I know this is a cheap shot, but did Bill O'Reilly look like the kind of person at this age who's going to order deviled eggs as an entree?
You know it. With like a side of mayonnaise to throw on top. What's this stuff? And you go, it's paprika. It's for color. I don't want any of that paprika stuff.
But there is a hilarious story about the Fox News correspondents. Like any time in the afternoons, you will see all of them get down from the Fox News offices, cross the street to the Middle Eastern shawarma guy and order their little Middle Eastern food and enjoy their lovely food and go back and complain about immigrants. That was like the favorite thing ever.
Wow. Well, so the immigrant thing is an issue. Most people know for a fact that Donald Trump is the one that made all of these politicians kill that deal. And it was a bipartisan deal, which is very hard to do in America right now. So Trump thinks he can get into office better without it. He kills the deal himself. And now it's his biggest thing. And even the guy I talked to last night, I said, well, Trump killed that. I'm not going to have this conversation with you. Yeah. He was like, but, and I go, no, I'm not having it. Your guy did this. You don't get to blame it on the Blasian lady. And he was doing the thing last night. Well, she's not black. And I go, you ever dated any black women? Because, dude, she's pretty black, but she's mixed with a nice color of Asian, and it works for her.
I like that people have actually jumped onto this horse of she's not black. I'm like, what is wrong with you people?
When you have nothing else to say, you literally accuse a black person of not being black. Well, you're not black.
When Megyn Kelly was on Fox News, she had this bit where it's a piece that got aired at 10 o'clock at night, Sean, where she's talking about why Santa Claus is not black or should not be black. And she tells, listen, kids, if you're listening to us, Santa Claus is white, okay? That's the clip that ends. And the weird part was Jon Stewart had picked it up on The Daily Show. He was like, first of all, who is this child who's awake at 10 o'clock at night? So right-wing.
He's watching Megyn Kelly, right?
Yeah, but also still so innocent that he got confused of what color Santa Claus is. Like, that is what it feels like when they keep talking about.
The thing is, since they don't want anybody having anything for free, Santa Claus just shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
I mean, in reality, geez, oh Pete, that's it.
Because all the arguments they use when they come up with that Santa Claus being what race is the same thing I hear nowadays. They try to do that with Kamala Harris just because of her Indian and black thing. And I was like, how is it so confusing to realize that two races can be?
Right.
Yeah, there's like...
Is it? So the challenge for if you look at Donald Trump's political people, they are all in his age range, old white dudes. Here's the thing, this stuff worked. Like Mitt Romney almost beat Obama when really and truly in my history, that guy was the best president I've seen. He was the best representation of America. He actually wanted people to have health care. His wife wanted you to eat like you didn't have free health care. Like if we're gonna feed the kids every day, how about we try to feed them something healthy?
Yeah.
Literally the best two people I've seen. None of their kids turned out to be heroin addicts and all this other shit that you find out about later in life about the White House kids. So that doesn't have as big of an effect on Americans. So of non-college educated white males, the stats were out yesterday, she has picked up 12%. So if Trump was at 45, he is now at 33.
Okay.
With uneducated, I don't want to say uneducated, non-college educated. He's got the eighth graders. He's got the ones that, barely made it into high school. And for whatever reason, they just weren't built for school. Those are his people. But he's lost the other ones. And I don't know how you get those back. I mean, you've done enough in politics. I've done enough in politics to go, what magic pill could he have to warm everybody's heart and make them come back over?
I think now it's just too late. The campaign is just filled with spite-filled rhetoric.
Yeah, and nobody's paying attention. Literally, nobody's paying attention anymore. You got your person. Is it going to be tight? Yes. Are there persuadables is the term for people that don't know. Those are people that still till like 2 days before the election, like, I just don't know who I'm going to vote for. And you go, because you're stupid, literally stupid if it's that far into it. And, but the one debate, if you were her debate coach, let's have fun with this because we probably need to get off the air. Let's have fun with this. What would you coach her for the one debate? Because she's not doing more than one, because the advantage is to him to try to make her look bad. She's surging. She doesn't need to do more than one.
To be honest with you, like my strategy would be to just let Trump punch himself out. He would do it. Because even if you just stand there in silence, he looks, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's like the guy who doesn't like silences, but he has to fill it up with conversation.
Right. He can't take it. So I would say, look, let's have these 4 lines ready to go, because that's all that's going to make the news anyway. All right. 4 lines. And I want you to have them down, and I want you to keep the beats. I want you to do it, have them written by a Jon Stewart or who's the English guy you work for?
Charlie Brooker.
Because that dude, he's smart as shit. That's the guy I would hire, truthfully. And just go, and then just smile. And if he interrupts you, stop and say, I'm sorry, sir, I'm speaking. And do stuff like that. But let him go. Don't say the time's up. Don't look impatient. Just go, fat guy. Because they're going to have a camera on you all the time for the cut. Yeah. But do a slow cut. When you do it, take a breath, do that, and give the look every time he says something crazy.
I would actually just go I would be like, say, there's a camera on you, like proper stage management. I'd be like, just roll your eyes when you hear something crazy. Right. You just need that clip.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't need to be big. I mean, you go watch Margaret Thatcher. She could eat people alive without doing anything.
Yeah.
But it's going to be interesting. So early voting starts in 60 days. This is not 90 days out or 100 days out. It's 60 days out. He literally is too late. Have you ever seen the video, How to Create a Movement?
No.
Not talking about pooping, but so the start of it is you're the lone nut when you get up there and you're doing a dance somewhere. And then somebody goes, hey, that looks pretty fun. I'll join them. So they're just not by themselves. And they join them, and that's the VP candidate. And so then you got the 2 of them, and everyone's like, God, those 2 look like fun. Let's go. And then all of a sudden, the whole 10,000 people at the concert are doing the same dance. That's where they're going. This is a huge study in political energy. So we'll see how it carries out.
Well, yeah, I'm really interested in seeing how it goes forward. Yeah.
I would just like to not roll back to this Donald Trump and COVID time. It didn't go well. Didn't go well. I am going to get all of the smart people in the world and give them the proper visa to get back in the US so they will pay taxes.
No way.
Way.
People are just going to think that I've lost my mind along with you.
Cheers, my friend. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.